I want to cultivate this ability to be odd. It's so easy to get jaded. You know, in Hollywood, it's all about money and looks and stuff. Not in cartoons, it really isn't. And nobody cares what I look like. They didn't when I was 30, and they don't now that I'm gonna be 70. And I love that because it doesn't limit me. I'm only limited by my imagination, my courage to be creative, and the kindness of people to hire me. That's exactly what actors want.
Rob, you have voiced so many characters over the years, characters that people have connected with on so many different levels. When you get a script or have gotten a script for those characters and ones you are going to be doing in the future, what's the first thing you listen for in your head? Is it rhythm, emotion, melody, or is it something else?
Great question. I guess the easy answer is sort of an amalgam of all of it. I think what I do is I try to find things that I can hook a character, I can hook into a character. That is to say, for instance, with Pinky, my heroes growing up, my comedy heroes, in addition to Jonathan Winters and Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett and all these wonderful Yanks, the Pythons, Peter Sellers, the Goons, Morecambe and Wise, all the British stuff, you know, the Carry On films, those were all very instrumental in my comedic sensibilities. But for instance, when I saw Pinky, there was no note to say, oh, try something, you know, British or Scottish or South African or whatever, Southern United States. I have all these influences banging around in my melon. And when I'm coming to creating I say a soul and a voice, because I don't draw them and I don't write them. And it needs to be made clear. I always do this from the top of interview, man. It takes, for instance, on a high level show like Animaniacs, it takes 185 people to make an episode of that. I'm the one to whom you're speaking, and I'm the one grateful that I am. But man, if you put a gun in my head and said, draw Yakko, I'd say fire away. So what I do is I will see the character. We always get several different angles of the character, happy, sad, running, you know, all of that. And I look for things in the script that are kind of red flags, places that I can say, oh, I can have a great time with this, or I might even be able to add a little ad-lib. Like, for instance, Yakko, if Dr. Scratchensniff, whom I also voiced, says, Yakko, are you serious? Yakko, instead of saying, you bet I am, Scratchy, he might say, I'm as serious as a pimple on prom night. And that's an ad-lib, but it works for Yakko. And once I can see, and that, pardon me, that doesn't mean that I throw ad-libs in on my first read. I'm very respectful of the writers. I stick to the script, but the sensibilities, pardon me, are there in the script. And I start going through my mental Rolodex and find out places that, like, that's a very smart ass answer, and it applies perfectly to Yakko. And that was pretty evident in the first auditions, 33 years ago. And I remember it was a very big deal because it was Steven, a brand new show with lots of characters, huge music component. And the audition was like 5 weeks long, callback after callback. And I remember at the end of the process, Tom Ruger, the creator of the show, said, Robbie, this is great. Can you just think about maybe Groucho Marx? And that just, he even said, get out of here, buddy, just like Groucho does. If you go back and watch of course I have access to that, and you look at it, oh, great, okay. I love Groucho. Everybody my age loves Groucho Marx. And that clicked. And when you have someone as talented as Tom Ruger, who knows how to use someone's talent, Mr. Spielberg is the same way. They are so good at saying, oh, I love this woman. Ooh, I like what that guy just did. That works beautifully with the other people whom we're considering casting. So that sensibility is excellent with Tress, because Tress is just so cute, so sweet as Dot, but also over here has an angle where she says, "Call me Dottie and you die." And cartoon characters don't yet generally do that, right? So Tom knows that. And so when he's looking at reviewing interviews and, reviewing auditions, he says, "Oh, I know. We're going to bring Robbie back anyway because we like him on this, we like him on that. Let's throw in Groucho." I think that, and so it's a collaborative effort. But as I said, there are things banging around in my head. Part of it is I think the fact that I've been here for so long. I've been making my living as a performer since I was 19. And I write things down, and now I record them on my phone, and I have them at the tip of my brain, as it were, on my pinky, for use whenever. And so that's kind of how that stuff morphs, you know?
Because obviously with characters such as Yakko, Pinky, and Donatello, you have...
Yeah, I love him.
It's almost a responsibility, but it's not usually seen as that. It's usually just fun, or it can be like, paying homage or making sure that you just get the role right. How often did you think about legacy whilst recording and giving characters a unique voice that have such a cultural relevance?
Well, honestly, never with respect to legacy. And I can say that because you're looking at, as I said earlier, I'm a lottery winner, Tanner, and I know it. And you're right. I do feel a responsibility to be honest and to be authentic in a character role. I don't want to try to make it too highfalutin, but still, especially after the fact, when characters start to become very popular and develop an enormous following, I have a great respect for them and love for them, which is why, with very few exceptions over the years, I have, or I will or will not in the future, subject those characters to things like, I had a guy once at a Comic-Con say, "Hey man, I'll give you $500 if you read a chapter of 50 Shades of Grey as Pinky." And I said, "You know what, that'd be hysterical, but there's no way I'm going to do it. I can't do it." Not only because Pinky's a very important character to me, but he's moreover, he's important to millions of people out there. And that is the preciousness. That is why it's important. That's the legacy. Especially now with what we're doing, man, if you decide to say XYZ while somebody it's forever. That's it. And before you know it, if you've said the F word as Yakko, it's gone. Now, don't get me wrong. I was bored at night, but not last night. It's funny to hear cartoon characters, especially precious ones. Mm-hmm. Swear, of course it is. Mm-hmm. If you guys could be in any of the sessions that we've done over the years, oh my God. That's the fun. I mean, that's the show, I should say. So legacy happens after the fact. I now arguably have my fingers and my voice in two versions of Turtles, which is certainly an enormous legacy. Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain arguably are pretty iconic characters now. And even Carl Weezer, I don't know what it is, but people love that little guy. He's pretty freaking weird. Look at you, your cheeks are getting all red. You might even puke. It might be gas, but I don't know, Tanner. Stay away from Jimmy's mom because you're much younger and way handsomer. I hate you. But you see, like, that guy's a meme machine. You never know. There's another character I did years ago in the TV version of Lilo and Stitch called Experiment 625, and they named him Reuben. He's got his own pops and backpacks and t-shirts. Same with Goofy Movie. I'm PJ in Goofy Movie. And that thing is 30 years old. It's much bigger now, than it was when it was released. I don't know why, but they become legacy characters. So I couldn't say that I was that prescient when we started recording on anything. You absolutely never know what's going to be a hit. When we started recording Animaniacs, we thought, all right, we're going to have to work to screw this up. We've got Steven. We've got all the money we need to do it the right. Great writers, great animators, incredible musicians, a full orchestra, just like Looney Tunes. That never happens. So that would be one that I'm not surprised that is done well. But I have to say, you still never know. Steven will talk to you all day about 1941, though he knows it's not people's favorite movie, and it was pretty much panned by critics. You never know. I could have $30 million of your money and a script written by Jesus, and if nobody watches, it's a fancy tax write-off, Tanner. So I am now impossibly grateful and acutely aware of the power of the legacy of the characters that I've had a hand in creating, and very respectful of it, very.
Yeah. No, because, oh my word, because especially hearing those voices, like now.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Now you should see it from my side.
Because
I've had a couple of pops. Yeah. Wait till I've,
Oh my.
Good night, everybody. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like speaking with you, you have an energy that I would say is unmatched. I don't think I've ever spoken to a human being in this world that.
And no chemical inducement so far.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I think I don't know how this question is going to go, but how do you?
Sure, far away.
Yeah, how do you keep that curiosity alive in the booth or in life after all these years?
Man, you get me, dude, and by that I mean often in interviews I'll say I continue to cultivate I want to, till the day I die, cultivate this ability to be awed, to kind of go, whoa, check that out. It's so easy to get jaded, especially, in Hollywood. It's all about money and looks and stuff. Not in cartoons. It really isn't. I started my career doing on camera and lots of music, and it was great, but I was limited by this, how you look. You look like the right kid, the guy who could be the son of the people they've hired to be the parents, and nobody cares what I look like. They didn't when I was 30, 28, and they don't now that I'm going to be 70. And I love that because it doesn't limit me. I'm only limited by my imagination, my courage to be creative, and the kindness of people to hire me. That's exactly what actors want. Let me do my thing. Turn me loose. You can cut it, edit it, but let me I want to leave you with an embarrassment of riches. I want it to be difficult for you to choose which take. That's my ethos. That's the way I look at it. Part of that is exactly, this is great, exactly what you mentioned. I'm still able to go, oh my God, is that amazing? Wow, now that's funny. Not just heard that before. I learned stuff from 25-year-olds and 80-year-olds. And I'd be an idiot not to take advantage of all this talent. It continues to come here. When I moved to LA, I was 22. And still, at 69 and a half, I have that utter ability to be awestruck. I love to look at I'm a big space geek, physics, I love science, history, I love all that stuff. Well, Jesus, man, I remember going in 4th grade, 5th grade, school would stop so everybody could watch the Mercury launch. One guy in a space capsule, and it was black and white TV, and it was amazing. Well, now I get the James Webb Telescope sending a guy like me who has grown up from black and white television with no remotes and aluminum foil on the rabbit ears, the stuff, to seeing crisp, impossibly perfect images of something called the Pillars of Creation, named by JPL, NASA, I don't know. But it's this sort of nebulous type of thing, cloud, gas, where stars are formed, and it's this big cloud with these fingers that stick up. That's why they call it the Pillars of Creation. But from the top to the bottom of it, it's 10 light years. Now, as a general reminder, light travels at 186,000 miles a second. Okay, so 1 light year is 24 hours a day at that speed for 365 days. Okay, how far light goes at that speed in an Earth year. And we can see 10 of those from top to bottom, the whole thing. It would take me, at the speed of light, 10 years to go from the top of it to the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And Jesus Christ, if I can't get blown away by that, then I shouldn't have a pulse. And so all that does is translate into the way I live my life, man. If I know this gets a little existential, but I'm an actor. You often hear, are you an actor too, by the way?
No, I'm not.
It doesn't matter. The reason I say that is you hear people all the time talking about how important it is to be in the moment, how important it is to live your life now. And it was more difficult when I was younger. It's not easier, but it's more accessible to me now. And by that I mean, I've learned that even God, whether you believe or not, can't change the past. That's done. People have said that for a million years. Can't cry over spilled milk. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't unring the bell. All of that is true. And you and I having this lovely conversation yesterday, right now, was the future. But now it's today. Tomorrow's the future. 6 months is the future. And how we conduct this wonderful chat will have a huge effect on how it is received in the future. So really, our lives are about right now. And whether you're acting, and they say stay in the moment, or you're living your normal, regular 24-hour life, you deal with things right now. You might get a phone call and say, hey, we got your biopsy back, you have throat cancer. I do? Ooh. You know what I do for a living? Yeah. Well, I reckon I better take care of that. So I have two choices, and we can segue into that later. I can say, oh my God, and for a few minutes you kind of do, but if I'm right now, it makes no sense for me to say, what did I do that could have given me this? Or what if I don't make it? It's really more about right now. So focus and let's deal with things. And the reason I say that is because it all it all comes together, right? As coagulates together, is a rough say of saying it, in a way to keep me in the moment so that I don't say, I've seen that before. I said, oh my God, I've heard that song sung 100 times, but never by this young 22-year-old. I gotta meet this guy. Holy shit. How did you come up with that phrasing? I don't want to ever lose that, because that's part and parcel of, I think, also keeping me young at heart. Dick Van Dyke, whom you might know, he's 100, or he's going to be 100 in December, the same age my mother would have been. My God, the guy dances around. If you see him on videos, people say, Mr. Van Dyke, you still know the words? He says, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Never misses it. Not a beat. He could be my dad. That's how I want to live my life. It helps me in my work, and it helps me to deal with the best and the worst that life throws you, because nobody gets out of here without a couple of dings. Nobody. And the sooner we learn to deal with it, the sooner we learn to enjoy the gift that we have. And I have had more gifts, including this wonderful chat, than I could ever have imagined when I was your age. So that's a long-winded answer. You'd never know that I talk for a living, but that's why all of that keeps me excited. If tomorrow I cack because I have a heart attack that I didn't know was coming, and I had a genetic predisposition to this particular valve failure, right now, that's happening all over the world. To people who 24 hours from now, their relatives will be calling other relatives going, "Oh my God, Rob died last night. He was talking to this nice kid and he fell over." So you don't know, man. It's not new, but live for today. It's fun.
Yeah. Would you say that's probably your most important philosophy when it comes to taking care of your mind, like not just your voice, but like as a performer?
Dude, how many of these have you done?
8.
Voquent, you got the right guy. Honestly, I've done this a lot, and everybody's very kind, and they're always good questions, but those are a little more esoteric and very important human questions, not just for a guy who makes silly voices. And yes, that's absolutely true. It is how I look at, and like I said, it's my ethos, how I live my life. And I have to say, it's enhanced. I reckon, like most people who go through a life-changing medical issue or personal issue or whatever, I went through throat cancer a few years ago. I'm fine. Utterly changed my physicalness, and changed my life in a deeply positive way. I'm going to die someday now, but not from throat cancer. Could it come back? I guess. But because that is the cut of my jib, I'll be ready for it. I mean, it's not that I'm unable to become fearful. I'm human. But had that happened to me when I was 25, my reaction, understandably, would have been, "Oh my God, I'm just starting my career. I've been singing for 10 years. Are you kidding me? I'm a singer." And it would have been, understandably, about me, and I'm young, and I'm this, but I got that phone call when I was 60. And of course, it got me a little sideways. But remember that at that time, and this is all part of what you've been so kind to ask me about, as a result of this incredibly marvelous career, I've been able for decades to go visit kids in hospitals, call them on the phone, not just me. Bob Bergen, whom you mentioned, does it. All of us do it. Maurice, Nancy Cartwright, Trest, doesn't matter. As a result of Ninja Turtles, Animaniacs, all that stuff, Biker Mice from Mars, Gummy Bears, the Mask, the Tick, you never know. Rob, would you mind calling? Sure. Can I go visit? Sure. You're in town for a convention. Would you stop over at the Chattanooga Children's Hospital? Of course. I can't do it enough. So by the time I got that phone call, my presence of mind at the moment was just what we did here. As soon as I got that phone call, my doctor said, "How you feeling?" I said, "I don't know. How am I feeling?" He said, "Well, it's cancer." And the first thing I thought about was, I live in Los Angeles, 13 million people in the greater LA area. At this moment, on an afternoon in March, how many people are getting a phone call about their 4-year-old with a glioblastoma, or their 31-year-old mother somehow just got killed by a drunk driver, or a young father just found out he's got 9 months to live and he's trying to find a way to get life insurance that he couldn't afford. That shit's happening all the time, everywhere, every day. Every day. And the opportunities I have had to see how much joy the things that I have been a part of bring to people, to the extent that they get weepy and they can't even express. I've seen that over and over. So have my peers, sports guys, music, whatever, theater, anybody who is fortunate enough to make a living in the happy business. And you see the extent to which this stuff matters. All of a sudden it filters down to me and think, well, why not me? Why not? I'm not going to give in, but I'm sure going to keep my head up. Shame on me if I don't. And I realize most people don't have that opportunity. The vast majority of people will never have the privilege of being in a room with an 8-year-old who's not going to make it out of that room unless it's in a bag. And mom and dad know it, and they are there too. That is a privilege that enables so many of us to be cognizant of right now, and how it's not just about us. It's in fact, it's not about us at all. My day, my family, it's about, and for me in this moment. But I know how fortunate I am to be in that position, and so now I look back like most people. This probably wouldn't have happened and turned out as well as it did if it happened to me when I was 25. I would have kind of lost my mind, probably, like a lot of people, understandably. So anyway, that's why all this conspires to be 100% how I live my life, not just in trying to create joyful characters. The best joyful character for me is Rob. That's how I want to live my life.
Oh, that's a brilliant way to put it. Oh my goodness. Because like I remember reading about when you initially were diagnosed with throat cancer, and I was devastated because you voiced a lot of characters, but for me it was Ruben, it was Carl Weezer.
God.
Yep, and then it was you played 3 characters in Lego Star Wars, the Padawan Menace, and I heard those characters like when I was reading the article, and then when I heard that you had come out of it, I took a moment to actually just say thank you. Oh my god, because I would not. It would have been very difficult to like continue to, because I still do like listen to the memes of Carl Weezer. Lots of YouTubers do voice impressions, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't listen to that the same way now.
But, Tanner, no. God bless you, my friend. That honestly, okay. Clearly, I have no trouble talking. Now I'm a little
talk away.
You got me. Really, thank you. And I think that is a byproduct of the joy these characters create. Whether it's 100 people, 150, whatever. The artists, the animators, the production team all put as much time and love and energy into these as I do. Except I show up, do my gig, leave, and then I get to be a big shot. And I love chatting with nice young people like you who say the most impossibly kind things. Thank you. And I know it's authentic. And that, I won't forget this. That means a lot to me, that on a human level, that this made you happy. Certainly made me happy, but thank you. I'll never forget this. But I got to go back to my friends when I'm on the road, or I've been on the road, or do a bunch of conventions, or we take Animaniacs in concert, and I go back to the people who wrote that scored it. I'm on the stage with Randy who wrote it, but the scoring and the musician, I get to go back to these people, artists, musicians, writers, and say, dude, you have no idea how happy you're making hundreds of millions of people around the world, man. Because you're in a cloistered little office in Burbank, and you're doing your art and you're doing it at a really freaking high level. And then you go home and you have and you get a check and you go, oh my God, I'm paying for dog food and toilet paper doing something I would do for free. I made it. And then you live your life, you do your thing, go to shopping and blah, blah, blah. And then somehow you find out, oh no. This is not just about your little doodles. This is not just about, oh, you got lucky because in second grade, your teacher called your mom and said, hey, Tanner is drawing Ninja Turtles. He's not tracing them. You might want to keep an eye on him. And now Tanner's an animator, enjoying it, proud, thrilled, but no idea that, oh no, there are people who have survived impossibly devastating things because of your work. And that is the impossible joy of sharing this stuff. And I learned way more about the power of joy through that cancer experience. I mean, I don't want to do it again, but very clearly, when I was first diagnosed and I was meeting the doctors who were going to fix me, I met my radiation oncologist, lovely gentleman named Dr. Henry Yampolsky from Russia. And of course, they suss you out. They know what you're about. They know what you do. And he came in. He said, Mr. Paulsen, it's a pleasure to meet you. I must tell you that my daughter, she loved Pinky. She loved Pinky. Wow, thank you. Nerve. I can't wait to tell her. She would love Pinky. Okay. Now, you have cancer. Okay. First of all, let me tell you, I feel certain we can cure you. But before we do, we almost have to kill you. And dude, I did what you're doing now. I started smiling, I started laughing, because you reminded me of Goldfinger from the James Bond movie. You expect me to talk, Goldfinger? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. And so when he said, we almost have to kill you, I started laughing because I find joy and inspiration and entertainment pretty much anywhere, even in gallows humor. And you know what he said? He said, don't, sober as a judge. So don't lose that. Don't lose that ability to laugh at yourself. Don't. It will be as important to your treatment as what I am going to do. And all the drugs, the radiation, it will cure you. But you will be so sick, you'll be so worn out before you're done, and you will need, and man, was he right. It was brutal, but so is it when your 6-year-old is going through it. And then it's brutal for mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and cousins and everybody. I'm a grown-up, man, and I make my living in the happy business. So I could find ways to laugh at myself. And the whole shooting match. And I think, oh great, I don't know if I can do this one more day. Wait, let me take a handful of Vicodin and watch a Pink Floyd video. Oh, now you're talking. So yeah, all of it conspires to help you deal with the good and the bad. And when your doctor says, you better keep that up, son, I'm going to do it. The last prescription they gave me was for fentanyl. So I thought, ooh, you guys are serious. This is going to be kind of uncomfortable. Yeah. You might need fentanyl. So we're going to give you a prescription. I didn't use it, but that's a pretty good indication that it's going to be gnarly. But it is for everyone who goes through stuff, or everyone who has a bad accident, or everyone who goes bankrupt 4 times, or everyone who, you know what I mean? We all leave this rock with a ton of dings. And if you're smart, and if you're able to see the joy in life around you in the moment, every day, it's hard sometimes, it's a challenge, but if you can do that, then these dings turn into medals, and you can walk around and go say, you know what? I figured this shit out. And on the way, I helped other people figure it out. If we're not here to help one another, honest to God, what's the point? You know, it's too difficult, especially now, knowing that we can have, you and I are having this wonderful chat. Well, me rambling actually, but we're having this wonderful chat instantaneously. All over, people can do that all over the world instantly. And we also know that people are hurting one another and shooting one another and getting sick and dying from no water or no this or no that or whatever it is all the time, 24 hours a day. You can't get buried in that or you can't live your own life. I understand that. But to contextualize what a problem is or traffic, it's normal. Everybody does that. But if it makes you every day, you got to stop that shit. Just, you know what I mean? So anyway, thank you very much for being so sweet. You make me so happy.
Oh my, no. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. It's like when you're telling someone like, oh, good night, love you. And then you say to your mom, love you more. No, and then you just go back and forth. No, it's more like you are making me feel just as happy, I would say.
Good.
Cause yeah, cause I'm in a room.
That's the idea.
Already. Yeah, I'm in a room.
You're doing it for me too.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with celebrity. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with your profession. You're a mortician. You can have a good sense of humor, you know? So you're doing the same for me. I now have a new young friend named Tanner, who has given me one of the most profound compliments I could ever imagine. And I will never forget it. You did that for me. I mean, you didn't have to talk to me. You could have said, or you could have said, I'm busy that day, or whatever. Or Voquent could have said, yeah, the guy's interviewed all the time. But you did. You chose to speak to me. This is a privilege. So,
yeah. Oh my God.
That's how it works, man.
Yeah. Because like all this back and forth, it's all like, it's the same thing. I'm like, he could have like said no to us. Like we could just be sitting here because this whole conversation it's not just like, I'm doing this interview. I'm having a conversation right now. It doesn't feel like work. It does not feel like an obligation. This feels like a fun chat, which usually I feel a little nervous leading up to them, especially with this one. I was very nervous before you joined, and I was just like, oh my God, my heart's beating on my chest. I could hear it now. But yeah, I'll just get into. I'll also get into a ramble as well.
Good, please do, man. If we're here to have fun, you've allowed me to ramble, get a little bit existential, a little bit philosophical, and that's part of the deal when you get older. You know, because you had a lot of life experience. But you know, it works both ways. As I said earlier, I could have a script written by Jesus. Nobody watches. That's it. And you guys took the time to call me. Sometimes there are conflicts and I'm not available or the other guys aren't, whatever. But while I can and while I think well and all my faculties seem to be, fairly in good shape. Physically, I'm in great shape. And I make my living doing something I would do for free with people I would choose to have at my funeral. The best friends. I've gotten to grow up with people who were utterly unknown 40 years ago. Now they're Oscar winners, Emmy winners, Grammy winners, Tony winners, Writers Guild, zillionaires, private jets. Didn't know these people. I mean, these people were completely unknown, and we all grew up together. And they are almost, to a man and woman, the nicest, most down-to-earth, unassuming, unpretentious people you'd ever want to meet. Smart. I don't know any people whom you folks would enjoy I know pretty much everybody, at least, from the last 35 years, 40 years who do this. I don't know any of them who are stupid. Not of them are all college graduates, myself included, but none of them are dumb. They're smart. They keep up with what's going on. They have their opinions. If they're needed to be expressed, they express them. If not, they keep them to themselves. They're very respectful of other people. They utterly understand the extent to which they've won the freaking lottery. And they're just a delight. Some of them don't like doing interviews. Some of them are very private. That's not personal. I've learned to take nothing personally. Nothing. If somebody says, I don't want to do an interview with you, okay. I don't think, well, I must not be good enough for Tanner. No, he just said, I really am not interested in this particular interview with Rob Paulsen. I've seen him, I like him, but not my cup of tea. Great. No harm, I got nothing. No harm, I wish you well. I don't take it personally. Off you go. So, I always really love to, especially with younger folks, well, pretty much everybody's younger than I am, man. I was an entertainment at the Last Supper, for Christ's sake. I was Shecky of Arimathea. Jesus, what a party. But no, man, we're all in this together. And we must be respectful of one another. We must be. You, Voquent, writ large, chose to seek me out and chat with me. That's a big deal. If I couldn't have done it today, I would have found a way to make it happen. You guys are a really big deal. But I talk to kids who say, Mr. Paulsen, I met you at so-and-so, and you were so nice. I'm starting my podcast. I live in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I have 600 followers. And great. If I can work it out, great. I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is better. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. I'd also be lying if I said, being famous isn't a big deal. Of course it is. I love it because when people find out who I am, all it does is make both of us laugh. Watch this, folks. Hey, ham or tuna?
Definitely ham.
Look at Tanner. Ham or tuna? Hey, Gantu, don't steal Tanner's sandwich. You big tub of guts. That's all I have to do. Look at our friend Tanner. Isn't that great? Hey, God, his face is turning the same color as my name. Nerf. That is worth everything. Look at that boy. God. Look at that boy laugh. This is the best part of my gig, man. Of course I like being recognized. Because all it does is make you happy. Me too.
No, it brings back the most pleasant. Well, I've had lots of pleasant parts of my childhood, but this is one of them. Is listening to all of your characters.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, listen, nostalgia and these characters, when your little tiny Tanner brain and your little tiny Tanner Pinky are developing, these characters down the road are as important to your memory as the smell of your grandmother's cooking, your mom's perfume, the song you heard when you had a crush on the first girl or boy that you were nuts about. It's powerful shit, man. And I know that because years ago, we did a Jetsons movie at Hanna-Barbera. Not a particularly good movie. But I got to play Judy Jetson's boyfriend, Sky Rocker. I sang a bunch of rock and rolls at a ball, but I spent years in rock and roll bands, so that's my jam. In post-production, I got a call to come do some post-production work at Hanna-Barbera, pick up a few lines, blah, blah, blah. And I walked in, and Mel Blanc, who played George Jetson's boss, Mr. Spacely. Jetson, get in here, right? Mel Blanc is in the recording studio. And I said to the director, Gordon Hunt, who's Helen Hunt's dad, and directed all the cartoons, one of my mentors, God rest his soul, I said, oh my God, it's Mel. He was probably in the late 70s. And he said, how about that? I said, oh man, I'm a little early, can I watch? He said, oh no, you're working with him. So I'm about, I don't know, 30, 32. And me and Mel Blanc sitting together, old enough to be my dad. And Mr. Blanc, like anyone with a pulse, I can't even tell you how much your work has meant to me. Like you, Tanner. I'm dead serious. Honestly, thank you, young man. What's your name? Rob. Thank you, Rob. It's very kind of you. So I thought, okay, I was a lot nervous. And I thought, I'm never going to get this chance again. I'm going to try to be very professional, but I have to. Mr. Blanc, before if it's not too much trouble, he knew exactly what I wanted, Tanner. He wanted the same thing you and others want when they find out who I am. They want to hear something. And so he took off his glasses, he looked at me, said, what's up, Doc? And honest to Christ, I thought I needed a Caesar salad. I thought, oh my God. And that memory I was at 30 odd years old, and I went right back immediately to Detroit, Michigan, sitting in my pajamas eating Cocoa Krispies, seeing Mel or Bug saying, what's up, Doc? Kill the wabbit, hates rabbit, all of it came back that fast. So now I get it. I will never, none of us would compare ourselves to Mel. Never. He's Mel. That's it. But I understand if I meet a nice young person and I say, hello, nurse, and you do that, or if I say, narf, or if I say, stay away from Jimmy's mom, are you going to finish your croissant? Or if I say, turtle power, or if I say, butt cannons, it has butt cannons? I mean, look at your beautiful face. It hasn't stopped smiling. That is everything. And that is not about money. It's not about ratings. It's not about merchandise. It is about a pure connection of joy between you and me. And it happens with all the people who are lucky enough to do this gig. So, yeah, I love it when people recognize me because I know what's coming. And I get to laugh, smile, and the other people do the same. They won't forget it. And I go on with the rest of my day going, man, I'm so glad that young woman at Starbucks said, are you Rob Paulsen? And the first thing I say was, well, I don't know, are you with the IRS? And when they tell me no, and I say, yeah, then I'm Rob Paulsen. So yeah, it's spectacular. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, when you're not behind the mic, doing like a fun project or something big, what do you do to scratch your creative itch?
Oh boy. Well, like I come up with new stuff to do. Years ago, it was a podcast when they were just starting. Pardon me. And I thought, well, geez, I'm having a ball being on these podcasts, but maybe I should do one. I mean, I don't think you have to be an MIT grad. So I just got a microphone and took my computer all over the joint and talked to Butch Hartman and Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy and Nancy, all these friends of mine. One day I said, wait a minute, I can call Bart, I can call the Brain, I can call Philip J. Fry, I can call Bender, I can call the Crazy Cat Lady. Holy shit, I can call any, maybe people would want to hear from them. And I was right. And I had a ball. I did 3 different iterations of my podcast. One that was very bare bones, one that was live and recorded at wonderful comedy clubs out here. We had a blast at the Improv and the John Lovitz Comedy Club at Universal. 200 people every time we do it. A blast. And everybody, whether it was Mark Hamill or somebody new like Eric Bauza, all came out to have fun. They all did. Now I'm doing a one-man show because why not? Most of my friends have done stand-up, and I love stand-up comedy. I've never done it. I'm having a ball. And so I'm not making any money at it, but it scratches, perfect way to put it, it scratches my creative itch, and I do it because I can't not do it. And I'm telling you folks out there, and you know this, Tanner, if you're fortunate enough to find something that you can't not do, I mean, it lights up your soul. I don't care if it's working on cars, flower arranging, bowling, whatever it is, working with kids, skiing, so much so that you do your job, and your job is a way to pay for the thing that you love to do. You love to do. I'm saving my money because I'm going to buy that used Corvette, and I am going to fix that. I don't care if it takes me 2 years. I'm going to have a great. That's wonderful, because not everybody gets that, right? Not everybody has something that really lights them up. Then, if you find out you're really good at working on cars, or bowling, or flower arranging, then you really, oh my God, I'm going to get this guy in my foursome. We're going to play the golf. Dude, I want Tanner. This guy can hit the ball 100 miles. I want this guy in my best ball. Okay. Then, if you find a way like you and I have to earn money doing something that we would do just because it lights us up, we won the lottery. Very few people get that. So whether or not you continue to do this specific thing and move on from something else in this realm, you're not making a shitload of money doing this. You're doing this because you love it, and you've got the opportunity, and you're good at it, and you're smart. You get it. You are very articulate. You ask great questions, and you're doing it. You're doing exactly what I and Billy West and Maurice and David Copperfield all did when we were your age. Dave goes around doing card tricks because he can't not do it. Helps him sometimes from getting beat up. Now, he's a billionaire. And he does 15 live shows a week at 69 years old. He hasn't needed a dime. He hasn't needed a dime for 35 years. He's got 27 Emmys. You know why he does it? Same reason you and I do, because we can't not. So that's what I do. Or I'll record something I made up, and send it to Maurice or Carrie Elwes, who's a dear friend. You guys know him as Wesley in Princess Bride. Such dear friends. So I'll send it to those guys. Say, what do you think about this? Hey, it's great. Or Carrie will say, well, not as I wish. That sucked. Try it again.
Yep.
Great. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I would say that actually almost puts an understatement on it when you put it that way, because bringing all these like characters to life and then having fun creating new ones.
Yeah.
Like, is there like a conversation you've ever thought about between either characters you voiced or one of your characters and another? For example, like two characters walk into a bar.
Oh yeah. I mean, trust me. The number of times if I'm at a bar, especially if I'm on the road and there's a bar in the hotel and a lot of us go down and have a drink or whatever, and or like with perfect example, Carrie Elwes, great guy, wonderful actor. Princess Bride is an absolute bona fide classic, and Carrie is a terrific actor, a wonderful man, great father, great husband, great friend. Mo and I and Carrie were out to dinner 2 weeks ago in Malibu, baby. And typical of Carrie. We're sitting there and, the waiter knows Carrie. Hey, Carrie, blah, blah, blah. Famous guy and all that, great. He says, these are my friends, Rob and Maurice, and I don't know, Pinky and the Brain. Oh, Jesus, Pinky and the Brain. That was, it makes me a little wistful because my dad and I used to watch that. My father lived for Pinky and the Brain. Oh, really? Well, boys. Hey, Dad, nice to meet you, Brian. Would you like to say hello to Joe? Good evening, Joe. Can you help us take over the... And all of a sudden, the waiter is a mess.
You have seen the business evolve over many years. What is something that's true about voice acting, no matter how much the industry has changed?
Acting is acting. Period. End of story. Most of us have done theater, stand-up, TV, whatever. But the best voice actors, in my view, are just really good freaking actors. John DiMaggio, Bender, Jake the dog, just got a wonderful part on a brand new Fox on-camera TV show. Killer actor. And whether he's doing Bender, which is a great character, or he's doing TV or movies. One quick example, on the last season of the 2012 Turtles, where I got to be Donatello, the last season had an arc with a character called Fugitoid, who was, I think, in the comic book, certainly showed up in the original Turtles toward the end of the season, I think. But they wanted to get like a movie star, celebrity person. So they got David Tennant. Now, I love David Tennant. I know nothing about Doctor Who, but I found David Tennant on a show called Broadchurch from BBC America, in which, oh Jesus, Olivia Cole and David Tennant? Watch it, kids. It's great, great television. So David, oh my God, he said, oh mate, this is Ninja King Turtles. Dead sober. This is Ninja Turtles. Everyone wants to be a Ninja King Turtle. Just like Star Trek. Happy to be here. I love doing this show. This is Ninja Turtles. So acting is acting. And the way, like I said earlier, the way you behave when I started ripping as these characters, that happens to celebrities too, all the time. And athletes, I sung the national anthem at Dodger Stadium a couple years ago. And as I'm walking up to get to my seat, the third baseman at the time was a wonderful player named Justin Turner, who won the World Series with the Dodgers in 2020. I'm not sure where he's playing now, but I was walking back to my seat to watch the game. He taps me on the shoulder. Are you really Raphael? Now he's dressed in his Dodger. He's getting ready to go to work. Kid makes $20 million a year playing ball. And for that moment, he was a 9-year-old. He's got a Ninja Turtle t-shirt on under his Dodgers uniform and I signed a picture for him. Oh my God, are you really? All it has to do is with joy. So that's my answer.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh. All right. So
okay,
I have questions. Yeah, 5 quick fire questions. So basically you just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Great.
All right.
See if I can do it without rambling.
If you could voice a scene with any actor or voice actor in the world, who would it be?
Peter Sellers. He's gone. Yep. Peter Sellers.
Mm-hmm. What is the most random piece of voice direction you've ever received during a session?
That doesn't really sound like what I would expect an armadillo to sound like, Rob. Can you come up with something else? Dead fucking serious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What? And give up show business? Yeah. Jesus. Yeah.
No, insane. If your mic could talk, what would it say about you after a long session?
Floss.
Oh. What is your studio snack of choice?
Oh gosh. Okay. I love toasted bagels and cream cheese with tomato. I love that. If that's in the available, I love those. I love Snickers candy, and there's all sorts of it. If I'm in the studio every day, all the time, I got to be careful because I could eat that all day long. Snickers and bagels. It's my next book. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And finally, is there a voice acting pet peeve that you have?
I do. It's having to audition. It keeps me humble, and I certainly get more work given to me than I used to. But the audition process has changed so much that rarely do I get to be in front of the people who make the decision. If you're bringing me in and I've worked and getting ready to rock and roll, and you say, "Oh, that's interesting, Rob. Could you try something?" Sure. But if I have to audition with a couple of paragraphs of what you think you want, then I give you a few things and I have nobody to bounce it off of. And I hate that. It won't change. It's the way it is now. And so that's my pet peeve, not being able to audition in front of people if I have to audition. But you know what? Thanks to the fact that I did get to audition the way in which I enjoy it decades ago, I'm speaking to you here now. So I got into this gig at the right time. So,
Rob, thank you so much for doing this. This has meant the absolute world to me. It's changed my life, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today.
Thank you, Tanner. I don't know how to say anything more precious than thank you. You have given me a remarkable opportunity to share my story and my joy with a bunch of other people, and you have done the same, because by saying the incredibly kind things you did to me, asking wonderful questions, and being a professional at the level in which you perform, you have given me an opportunity to spread my stuff, and we've done it together. That I can't do this without you. And at this moment, you can't do it without me. That's how it works. We help each other. So thank you, my friend. And I guess I can say this now. Happy holidays to you and all those folks in Voquent land. So at least in here, we have Thanksgiving. You guys don't, because you still got pissed off about that whole, well, you British folks, the whole colonial thing. But we forgive you. It's done. I mean, we won, but we still love you. Okay.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Behind the Mic. If you enjoyed the conversation and you want to hear more from the voices behind your favorite characters, then be sure to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to check out our other interviews, as well as voiceover tips and industry news at Voquent.com or on our social media. See you next time.